It is born in the heart of a dying star. Forged in a cataclysm of cosmic violence known as a supernova, it is an element of exquisite rarity and astonishing density. Scattered across the cosmos, a small fraction of this stardust settled into the swirling nebula that would become our solar system, embedding itself within the very rock of our planet. This element is gold. From the moment our ancestors first discovered it, gleaming in a riverbed, its fate was sealed with ours. Unlike other metals, it does not tarnish or rust. It is incorruptible, seemingly eternal. It can be hammered into a sheet so thin that it becomes translucent, or drawn into a wire finer than a human hair. Its color mimics the sun, the ultimate source of life and power. For these reasons, gold has never been just a metal. Across every civilization, in every corner of the world, it has been a symbol of divinity, royalty, power, and immortality. It is the language of value, the ultimate prize in a story that humanity has been writing for millennia, a story of obsession, adventure, and the unquenchable thirst for fortune. This is the story of gold's hidden worlds and its enduring mysteries. Our quest begins not with history, but with legend. A story so powerful it drove empires to madness. It is the legend of El Dorado, the Gilded Man. The tale originated with the Muisca people of the Andean highlands, in modern-day Colombia. It described not a city, but a ceremony. When a new chief was chosen, he would be covered in sticky resin and coated entirely in fine gold dust. He would then be taken to the center of Lake Guatavita on a ceremonial raft, laden with gold and emerald offerings. As his people watched from the shore, the gilded chief would dive into the sacred waters, washing the gold from his body as an offering to the gods. When this story reached the ears of the Spanish conquistadors, it was transformed. The ritual of a man became the legend of a city, then an empire, paved with gold. For over 2 centuries, El Dorado was the fever dream of European explorers. Men like Francisco Pizarro and Hernán Cortés had already found immense wealth in the Aztec and Inca empires, proving that the New World held unimaginable riches. El Dorado became the next ultimate prize. Expeditions plunged into the uncharted jungles of the Amazon, chasing rumors and distorted maps. They faced starvation, disease, hostile tribes, and the crushing despair of the relentless wilderness. Thousands perished in this pursuit. The fabled city was never found because it never existed. El Dorado was a phantom, a myth born from a sacred ritual and fueled by insatiable greed. Yet it stands as perhaps the most potent example of gold's power to shape human destiny, luring men to their deaths in pursuit of a dream forged from shimmering dust. While the dream of El Dorado was an illusion, the reality of New World gold was staggering. The Spanish Empire, through conquest and mining, began to extract wealth on a scale never before seen. To transport this treasure back to Spain, they established the formidable Spanish treasure fleets. Twice a year, convoys of heavily armed galleons would gather in ports like Havana and Cartagena, their holds overflowing with silver from Potosi and gold from Peru and Colombia. These fleets were the lifeline of the Spanish Empire, funding its wars and fueling its economy. But such a concentration of wealth on the open seas was an irresistible target. This gave rise to the golden age of piracy. Figures who have become legends in their own right, Blackbeard, Calico Jack Rackham, Henry Morgan, prowled the Caribbean shipping lanes. While Hollywood has given us the romantic image of pirates burying chests overflowing with gold coins on deserted islands, the reality was often far more practical. Most plunder was divided among the crew and spent as quickly as it was acquired in the taverns and brothels of ports like Tortuga and Port Royal. Buried treasure was rare, a pirate's life was short, and there was little sense in planning for a distant future. However, the treasures they hunted were very real. In 1628, the Dutch admiral Piet Hein achieved what every pirate dreamed of. He captured the Spanish treasure fleet in its entirety without firing a shot. The haul of gold, silver, and other valuable goods was so immense it was enough to fund the entire Dutch army for 8 months and delivered a devastating blow to Spanish finances. The ships of the treasure fleets were the ultimate prize, floating fortresses of wealth, and their story reveals a fundamental truth. Where gold flows, conflict and predation are sure to follow. Yet the lust for gold and the mystery of its disappearance are not confined to the New World. The medieval period in Europe had its own legends of lost fortunes, none more enduring than the treasure of the Knights Templar. Founded in the 12th century to protect Christian pilgrims in the Holy Land, the Order of the Knights Templar grew into one of the most powerful organizations in Christendom. They were elite warriors, but their true genius was in finance. They created an early form of international banking, allowing pilgrims to deposit assets in their home country and withdraw funds in Jerusalem. Through this system, and from donations from European monarchs, they amassed enormous wealth. Their Paris temple was the center of European finance, but their power and wealth made them dangerous enemies. Deeply in debt to the order, King Philip IV of France conspired to destroy them. On Friday, October 13, 1307, he ordered the simultaneous arrest of every Templar in France. They were accused of heresy, tortured into false confessions, and their leaders were burned at the stake. The king seized their assets, but the great bulk of the Templar treasure, the vast legendary hoard of gold, silver, and jewels, was never found. It seemed to vanish overnight. Did they hide it? Was it spirited away by the Templar fleet, which also disappeared from the port of La Rochelle? Theories abound. Some believe it was buried beneath Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland, others that it was smuggled to Switzerland, laying the foundation for its famous banking system. The fate of the Templar treasure remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries, a tale of piety, power, and gold that vanished into the shadows. As the age of empires and knights waned, the pursuit of gold became more personal, more democratic. It was the age of the prospector. In 1848, a carpenter named James W. Marshall discovered flakes of gold at Sutter's Mill in California. The news spread like wildfire, igniting the California gold rush of 1849. Hundreds of thousands of prospectors, known as 49ers, descended on the territory from all over the world, gripped by gold fever. Their lives were a gamble of grueling labor and fleeting hope. The primary method of extraction was placer mining. Gold, being incredibly dense, is 19 times heavier than water. Over geological time, erosion frees gold particles from their host rock. Rivers then wash these particles downstream, and due to their weight, they settle and concentrate in riverbeds, in bends, or behind boulders. The prospector's pan was a simple but effective tool designed to harness this principle. By swirling sand and gravel with water, the lighter material would wash over the lip of the pan, leaving the heavier black sand and, with any luck, a few precious flakes of gold behind. It was back-breaking work, performed under a relentless sun, often for little to no reward. For every prospector who struck it rich, thousands found only poverty and despair. Boom towns with names like Hangtown and Skidoo sprang up overnight and vanished just as quickly. The gold rush transformed the American West, accelerating its statehood and building its foundational myths, all driven by the simple, powerful image of a lone man sifting through the earth, hoping for a flash of color in his pan. The dream of finding lost treasure has not faded with time. Only the methods have changed. The oceans, which swallowed countless ships laden with gold, are the final frontier for today's treasure hunters. Our additional story of lost gold lies not in a jungle or a vault, but 2,000 feet beneath the waves. It is the story of the San Jose, a Spanish galleon that sank in 1708 off the coast of Cartagena, Colombia. The San Jose was the flagship of the Spanish treasure fleet, and on its final voyage it was carrying one of the largest hauls of treasure ever assembled, an estimated 11 million gold and silver coins, emeralds, and other precious artifacts. During a battle with a British squadron, the ship's powder magazine exploded, and the galleon sank almost instantly, taking its 600 crew members and its immense fortune to the bottom of the Caribbean Sea. For 3 centuries, the San Jose was a ghost, its location a mystery. But in 2015, a team from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, using an autonomous underwater vehicle named Remus 6000, finally found the wreck. The vehicle's side-scan sonar detected an anomaly on the seafloor, and upon closer inspection with cameras, the unmistakable sight of bronze cannons, unique to the San Jose, confirmed its identity. The images sent back from the abyss are breathtaking. Cannons, pottery, and the tantalizing gleam of gold coins lying undisturbed on the seabed for over 300 years. The treasure of the San Jose, with a modern estimated value of up to $20 billion, is the largest sunken treasure in history. Its discovery is a testament to how modern science and technology have unlocked the secrets of the past, proving that the greatest treasures are not always hidden on maps marked with an X, but lie waiting in the silent, dark depths of the ocean. From the heart of an exploding star to a prospector's pan, from the mythical streets of El Dorado to a galleon's watery grave, the story of gold is humanity's story. It is a metal that does not decay, and perhaps that is why we covet it. We see in its eternal gleam a reflection of our own desire for permanence, for a value that transcends time. Gold has built empires and torn them down. It has inspired breathtaking works of art and fueled devastating wars. It has driven men to feats of incredible endurance and acts of unspeakable cruelty. It is more than an element on the periodic table with the symbol Au and the atomic number 79. It is a promise, a standard, a myth. It lies hidden in the veins of the earth and in the depths of our own collective imagination. And the hunt for it, in all its forms, will continue as long as we look at this lustrous, incorruptible metal and see not just a substance, but the embodiment of our deepest and most enduring dreams.